Hey Mama, welcome to the podcast. My name is Jocelyn, and if you are following along week by week, you are about 3/4 of the way there, give or take, depending on when your baby comes. But that is so exciting that you only have a little over or under a quarter of this pregnancy left. You're probably feeling a range of emotions, which we will talk about, but let's jump into the episode first and see some updates with the baby. Well, talk about some updates with baby, not see them because this is a podcast, and talk about some things that might be going on with you. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, fellow mom of 5 and host of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find the positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life. And I can help you. Let's find positivity during our pregnancies and in our motherhood together. Thanks for joining. If you are new here, my name is Jocelyn and I am a mom of 5. I struggled with pregnancy. I always wanted a larger family, but pregnancy was so hard for me. It really stopped me in my tracks and made me doubt and wonder if I was going to have more than 1 or 2 kids. Gratefully, my second pregnancy went better than my first. It was still really hard. So many emotions, worries, concerns, because my first ended in an emergency C-section. And so with my second, I was traumatized, scared, worried, but it actually turned out to be like a textbook pregnancy. It was still hard though, and mentally I didn't know if I could handle more. Around my third baby, I started learning about thoughts, thought work, changing your thoughts, shifting your thoughts, and I started applying it in my life. And it made a difference in areas of my life, and I decided that I was going to implement that in pregnancy. And so with baby 3, I started experimenting with it. Baby 4, I decided that I made a course, and baby 5, I used my own course to help women to find positive mental thoughts during pregnancy. I know I mention this a lot, but I feel like the mental thoughts is really neglected when it comes to pregnancy. They focus a lot on your physical health and the physical health of your baby, but sometimes doctors and midwives don't really check in mentally with you, and that is so important in pregnancy, and not just for childbirth, but during pregnancy. So I am a big proponent of that, and it is those thought tools and the thought work that has allowed me to have 5 babies now, when I only thought I was going to have about 2. So, what a blessing. God is good. He's been in the journey. There's definitely lots more to all of those pregnancies and stories, but that is the watered down version so that we can jump into what you can expect for your 30-week appointment, or for your around 30 weeks, not your 30-week appointment, but being 30 weeks pregnant. For baby, they are about the size of a large head of cabbage. They are probably weighing around 3 pounds and can be as long as 16.5 inches. So there was a statistic, that I read when I was doing this research that most babies, I think it was like in the 70% range, are usually head down by this time. And if not, don't worry, by 37 weeks, like 97% of babies are head down. But they still have 10 weeks to go, but they are already hanging out head down. They use the space in the uterus, so it is starting to probably get a little limited, but they use what is there. Your baby is building fat stores, which is decreasing the luguo, or languo. I don't even know how to say that. It's those small little hairs that cover their body. Anyways, the fat stores are starting to decrease that a little bit. Although when some babies are born, they are like still covered with those small little hairs. It's so cute. Your baby is likely starting to thumb suck a little bit, and this preps them for nursing. It's so cool, all these little things that are taking place that actually help prepare them for life outside the womb and the next steps in their life. It's pretty amazing. So for you, it might be starting to get uncomfortable. One way to help make space for baby in there is to have good posture. So instead of slouching, do your best to sit up tall if you can, or to, instead of like C curving on the couch with your back, more sit further back into the cushion so you can have a straight back and stretch out that posture. If you got some kind of exercising ball, like a large one, sit on it. That also helps with posture and space. For you, if you can, start eating some healthy fats and oils like avocado oil or eggs, avocados, things that are good for the baby's brain. Their brain is actually developing from those good fats, and it is important, if you can, to eat some of those. So an interesting fact that I found and studied for this week was that colostrum, which is going to be the first milk that your breasts produce after your baby is born, and your breasts are actually already working on that process. It smells and tastes like the amniotic fluid that the babies are in right now. And I found that so interesting. It's like breastfeeding prep in your body. I know we've talked about breastfeeding prep in a couple of the other episodes recently. But it's happening in your body, and I also encourage you to visit with other mamas who have breastfed, because breastfeeding, it's not as easy as you think. In fact, you can get really discouraged, and it can feel really hard and almost impossible, but it is so healthy for you and baby. I have episodes on that. If you are interested, I will look them up and link them in the show notes. There's so many benefits to it. So talk to mamas who have nursed, get their insights. And if you feel to do some research online, do that. But if you can, I would highly encourage you to do it for at least a couple months. I myself try to go for about a year, is about where I kind of get sick of it. You might notice with all the extra weight you are carrying that it's getting a little bit harder to breathe. And that's okay, that happens. In fact, if you listen to some of my older podcasts or even when I was pregnant just recently, well, I guess it's been more than a year ago. It feels just recently. But if you listen to some of those podcasts where I am more pregnant, or if you listen to other moms when they are like farther along in their pregnancy, you can tell a little bit that they have to really take time to catch breaths. Well, things are getting tight in there, so that can be something that you might be dealing with. Another thing that ramped up for me towards the end of my pregnancies was heartburn. If you are experiencing heartburn, I'm pretty sure I took Tums, but always check with your doctor and OBGYN before taking anything. You can usually call and ask a nurse if you need something right away. But it can be really frustrating, especially in the evening. Something that I found helped me was when I went to lay down at night, if I laid propped, it helped the heartburn quite a bit. Whereas if I would lay flat. So prop your head up a little bit and that might help your heartburn. So those are some of the physical things and updates that are happening or could be happening with you and baby. And you may even be having symptoms that I haven't even talked about. If you are having stuff that you are worried about that is going on, always contact your provider, your doctor, or your midwife and ask them your questions. You are paying them during this pregnancy, and you definitely should be able to ask them your questions. If they are not being kind and courteous about your questions, I would suggest maybe finding a different OBGYN or midwife. Even this late in pregnancy, you can still switch. I wanted to talk about the range of emotions. So emotions are something that we deal with as humans. And unfortunately, during pregnancy, the hormonal changes can mess with our emotions pretty good. Some days we'll be really high and happy. Some days we'll just feel like crying, or we cry over the simplest and craziest things. And it can kind of feel like a roller coaster of up and down emotions that can really have you a little bit overwhelmed and stressed out. When it comes to feeling these emotions, that's what I'm going to encourage you to do, is to just feel them. When you feel happy and you feel joy, allow yourself to feel that happiness, to feel that joy, and to feel that excitement. But also on the flip side, I do encourage women to allow yourself to feel some of the negative emotion. I've done a lot of podcast episodes on this as well, called Feel It to Heal It. I will link that in the show notes as well if you are interested in a deeper dive on feeling it to heal it. But if you feel those negative emotions, it helps you to release them. Now, the thing about the negative emotions is that we don't want to linger in them. We don't want to sit in them forever. We want to move on with them. And we want to encourage more of the positive emotions. This podcast is called Positivity in Pregnancy because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to feel the negative ones to make more room for the positive ones and to be able to fit into the positive emotions longer. So if you are feeling worried or something has popped up, a symptom has popped up that you are worried about, let's say you are feeling pain in your right side up by your ribs. And I'm giving this as an excuse because this is a legitimate thing that always that happened the last couple pregnancies at the end. I would get some pretty severe pain up there. And it was concerning and I was nervous. And so to deal with that, I first called my doctor and midwife, asked them if there was something I should do, and talk to them about some of my concerns. Sometimes you might have to make an appointment. But as I was feeling worried, I would just do my best to allow myself to feel the worry and then move on to solving the problem. I know I just mentioned calling the doctor first, so you can kind of do that vice versa. Call the doctor first, call the doctor second, or allow yourself just to feel a little bit of worry before you move on to solving that problem. And once you figure out what to do or what the next step is, you can deal with that and move on. So for me, when I had that pain in my right side, I ended up doing an appointment and got an ultrasound to make sure everything was right with my gallbladder. And once everything checked out fine, I did the whole ultrasound, everything was okay. It kind of narrowed down to be one of those weird pregnancy symptoms that was like unique to me and that I got pretty bad at the end of pregnancy but seemed to go away when pregnancy was over. And so when I would begin to feel that pain, I would be like, okay, this is what it is, and I don't have to be worried about it anymore because I know what it is. So sometimes feeling that worry allows it to release. If you don't feel some of that pain, overwhelm, or whatever emotion you are feeling that's negative, it will bottle up and then you'll explode, and there could be lots of regrets and sad things, and it contributes to more negativity overall in pregnancy. So even though it's not very fun, feel those emotions. And then I wanted to also give you an example on the alternative side. If you have moments where you just are so excited to bring this baby into the world, to hold them, to cuddle them, to look at their beautiful and perfect skin, their micro mini fingers that are just adorable that they can move, their sweet little eyes, their breath as they sleep. If you find moments where you get so excited and you just are really looking forward to holding that baby, feel that. Enjoy that joy and don't suppress it. I found myself sometimes suppressing that joy because I was worried that then something negative was going to happen. Just allow yourself to feel that positivity, that joy, that excitement, and remember the thoughts you are thinking. And maybe you can go back to them after you've felt some negative emotion and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was thinking about holding my baby and looking at their cute little fingers, and go back to that to bring more positivity into your pregnancy. Mama, I'm cheering for you. I want you to win this pregnancy. I want you to find more positivity. I want you to be happy. I want you to find joy in pregnancy and joy in bringing these children into the world. If you need more help with your mental mindset, I have a course called the Morning Sickness Mini Course for Mental Health. I know it says morning sick, but because that is the main time I needed it, but I also use these videos towards the end of pregnancy as well, because I was starting to get uncomfortable and wasn't sleeping very good and just was struggling a little bit more. There are 3 different types of videos. The audios are also available. I talk about gratitude, so many gratitude exercises, changing the negative to the positive, and pregnancy-specific affirmations to help you find positive mental thoughts during this pregnancy. It is in the show notes, and there also is more information on my website if that interests you. If not, no worries. Implement what you've learned in this episode and take it into your pregnancy, into your mind, to find more positivity. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts and becoming the mother that you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. Thanks for joining. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward in your motherhood. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.